Simplify algebraic expressions. Before we begin, we want to make sure that we are always using the sign that comes in front of each term. The sign meaning a plus or a minus, a positive or a negative. We will see how this is important in future examples. First, let's look at some vocabulary that we will need to know for this chapter. A coefficient is a number that is in front of a variable. In this example, 3n plus n minus 4, we have two coefficients. We have the 3, and then also in front of this n right here is a 1 that is not usually written in, but is understood to be there. So a coefficient is a number in front of a variable that we multiply by the variable. A constant, using this same example, is a number with no variable. In this case, we have a minus 4, and I'm circling the subtraction sign that comes in front of the 4 to make sure that we know that it is a minus 4. Finally, our last new vocabulary word is like terms. In this example, our like terms are 3n and 1n. These are like terms because they both have the same variable. Like terms can also be two numbers with no variables, so constants as well. We will look at an example of those in a moment. Take a minute to try to identify the coefficients, constants, and like terms in this expression. 2 plus 4x minus 5x plus 8. The coefficients in this expression are 4 and a minus or a negative 5. It's important that we use that minus sign in front of the 5x as a negative sign so that we know we are taking 5 away. The constants are 2 and 8. And in this example, there are two sets of like terms, 4x and the minus 5x, those are like terms, and the 2 and 8 are also like terms. Like terms are terms that we can combine or add or subtract together. So let's look at some examples where we can actually simplify an expression by identifying our like terms and combining them. In this first example, our like terms are 4x and a minus 8x. I'm going to start by rewriting the expression so that my like terms are side by side. 4x minus 8x is a negative 4x. We can combine these because they are like terms. They have the same variable and are both being multiplied by the same number. So if 4 is times x and 8 times x, then we can simplify that to a negative 4x. Since the plus 12 has no x, we just bring that down, and our answer is negative 4x plus 12. In the second example, we have like terms 6a and a minus 3a. We have also, as another pair of like terms, a minus 7 and a plus 2. If I rewrite the expression with the like terms next to each other, this would look like 6a minus 3a and then minus 7 plus 2. We can almost simplify these like as if they're two completely separate problems. 6a minus 3a is 3a. And then if we look at this problem as a negative 7 plus 2, that's a negative 5. When we write our answer, we can write it two different ways. We can write it as 3a minus 5 or 3a plus a negative 5. What we do not want to do is we do not want to put a subtraction sign between these two expressions, because if we wrote 3a minus a negative 5, then those minuses would actually cancel to a plus 5, and that is not what our answer would be. So when in doubt of what to put in between our two terms, it should always be an addition sign. Let's try a few examples on our own. In this first example, we have 7t plus 5t, which is 12t, and then we have a minus 4v and a plus 2v, which together, a minus or a negative 4 plus 2v gives us a negative 2v. So when you put those answers together, you can put them together like this, 12t plus a negative 2v, or 12t minus 2v, or you could even write them in a different order with negative 2v plus 12t, just depending on the order that you wrote the problem. In the second example, we have 8n plus 3n, which is 11n. Then we have a minus 2m and another minus 2m. If you write these side by side, that gives us a minus or a negative 4m, which could be written as 11n plus a negative 4m, 11n minus 4m, or negative 4m plus 11n. All three of those would be correct. Finally, here we have b minus 9b, which is a negative 8b. Don't forget there's a 1 here. 1 minus 9 is negative 8. And then with these two like terms, we have a negative 4 plus 9, which is a positive 5, and we just put a plus sign in the middle there. So you could write this as negative 8b plus 5, or if you put the 5 first, 5 minus 8b, or 5 plus a negative 8b. All three of those are correct.